Hello, and welcome to another episode of Movie Spoiler Alerts. Today we're going to be talking about the 1977 film Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. So let's get started. The summary relies a bit that you've seen the earlier episodes of the series. In terms of the film release order, this was the first Star Wars film to be released. However, it is actually the fourth episode in the series in terms of chronological order. The film takes place 20 years after the events of Episode 3, with the Galactic Empire ruling most of the galaxy. The Rebel Alliance is at civil war with the Empire, having stolen plans for the Empire's superweapon and space station, the Death Star. Princess Leia, one of the leaders of the Rebels, has the plans with her when her ship is boarded by Imperial forces, led by Darth Vader. Leia is able to hide the plans in the droid R2-D2, and sends R2-D2 and C-3PO to the desert planet of Tatooine, to meet with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Leia is then captured by Vader and taken into his custody. The droids are captured by Jawa traders, who sell the droids to Owen Lars and his nephew, Luke Skywalker. Luke inadvertently triggers a recording from Princess Leia pleading for the help of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Luke wonders if the recording is referring to Ben Kenobi, a hermit who lives nearby. The next morning, Luke discovers that R2-D2 and C-3PO have left in search for Obi-Wan, where all three meet up with Ben Kenobi. Ben reveals that he is actually Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan tells Luke of his days of being a Jedi, explaining what the Jedi are and the powers that they have through the Force. Obi-Wan tells Luke that he actually used to fight alongside his father, Anakin Skywalker, before he was betrayed and murdered by Darth Vader, a former pupil of Obi-Wan who turned to the dark side. If you watch my previous summaries, you might realize that this isn't exactly the truth. Obi-Wan gives Luke his father's lightsaber as well. They view Leia's message, begging Obi-Wan to take the Death Star plans to Alderaan and give them to her father for analysis. Obi-Wan invites Luke to join him and become a student of the Force. At first, Luke is unsure, but he discovers that stormtroopers, soldiers of the Empire, have killed his aunt and uncle in search of the droids that they had purchased. Luke and the droids go with Obi-Wan, and they travel to Mos Eisley to hire a pilot. They find a smuggler, Han Solo, and his first mate, Chewbacca, a Wookiee, and they hire them as transport to Alderaan and aboard their ship of the Millennium Falcon. In an effort to get information out of Princess Leia about the Rebels and the plans that they had stolen, they threaten Leia's home planet of Alderaan. Leia does not give in, however, and they use the true power of the Death Star, which has the ability to destroy entire planets by blowing up Alderaan. So when the Millennium Falcon arrives where Alderaan should be, there's nothing but debris. The Death Star uses their tractor beam in order to pull in the Millennium Falcon. Once aboard, Obi-Wan is able to disable the tractor beam so that they're able to escape, and Luke and Han go and rescue Leia. They all make their way back to the Millennium Falcon, where they encounter Darth Vader. Vader and Obi-Wan fight, and Obi-Wan is struck down. The Millennium Falcon escapes, but little do they know the Empire installed a tracking device. The Falcon travels to Yavin 4, to the Rebels' hidden base, in order to analyze the Death Star's plans. They determined that the exhaust port that connects to the main reactor to be the Death Star's weak point. The Empire has identified Yavin 4 as the Rebels' base, and they move the Death Star into position to destroy the planet. Luke joins the Rebel assault group, but Han decides to take his payment for transport and leave. The Rebels try to attack the Death Star, trying to destroy it before it's able to destroy the Rebels' home planet. The Rebels suffer heavy losses, and Darth Vader joins into the space battle, with Luke's X-Wing right in his sights. The Death Star is nearly prepared to destroy Yavin 4, and Vader is hot on Luke's tail, and all hope seems to be lost. But at the last moment, Han returns and fires on Luke's attackers, sending Vader spiraling out of control. Luke uses some spiritual guidance from Obi-Wan, telling him to use the Force to guide his shot, and Luke is successful, destroying the Death Star, and the Rebels have won. The film concludes in a very similar way to Episode 1, with a large celebration for the Rebels' victory. So that was the spoilers for Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. We will be spoiling all of the Star Wars films before the theater release of Episode 7, so please look out for those. If you have another film that you'd like to see me spoil, please let me know in the comments below. Check out movie spoiler alerts on the various forms of social media listed below, and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.